Hello, everyone. My name is Nara Subramaniam from Resolve Asia in Malaysia. I'm so happy to be here with all of you in hybrid mode. And my best wishes and congratulations to Dr. Halima and EduFam International on this wonderful conference and awards ceremony that's being organized for you all today. I thought of one particular quote, a very famous quote from Galileo Galilei, and it says that you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him discover it within himself. What is the reason for this? And I also thought about one of the most famous images that the world has been seeing in the last few years. 17 goals, 169 targets. But then, which is the most important goal? Which is the most important target? We always focus on what's staring in our face or what hurts us and what is impacting us now, which has the far-reaching impacts from the Sustainable Development Goals and what links everything. Is it climate action? Is it poverty? Is it zero hunger? Is it a clean water? Or is it life below water? What about quality education? What about educational sustainability? For me, educational sustainability has a very passionate meaning, has an impact that I think reaches very far and very wide. The EU, according to the EU, they have been comparing and keeping track of all the various goals, the sustainable goals, and they say that we are making very good progress on the quality education. But even if it is true, unfortunately, the COVID years has pushed us all way behind. I had a personal encounter with sustainability not too long ago when I had visited a coastal town, and I was deeply moved by the sight of plastics and other polluting elements. They had a devastating impact on my experience to the beach. And I realized at that time that it was such a stark image and impact that our beaches, our oceans, the local marine life are all very, very badly impacted. Now, we have all seen and witnessed images or scenes like this. Pollutants are littering the shorelines, devastating our ocean and marine life. This image is just a microcosm of a very much larger issue. It also shows that we haven't learned enough to make the necessary changes. It just also solidified my belief that sustainable leadership isn't a choice, it's actually a responsibility that we all share. Those who learned, however, must also care enough to take meaningful action that will have a lasting impact for the coming generations. Thinking of Galileo and otherwise leaders, it seems to be very true that we cannot easily teach people anything, and they have to discover and realize these things for themselves. But we don't have enough time, right? We do not have enough time for everyone to experience the impact of damage and devastation personally. We can and we must learn to learn from others, from other mistakes, not to necessarily make all those mistakes ourselves. So it seems to me that we haven't learned enough. And one of the key things which I mentioned just now about education, I feel that education is the link to many of these solutions. And when we talk about education, it's not just only education, but sustainable education. So we say Edusustain as a term for supporting and also maintaining educational practices. So in an era of rapid change that that we have been seeing over the last few decades, complex global challenges, and the importance of cultivating a new generation of leaders who are not only equipped with the skills to navigate these complexities, but also they need to be deeply committed to sustainability and ethical decision making. This is where educational sustainability or Edusustain emerges as a vital catalyst, empowering future leaders with the knowledge, values, and also vision to build a better world. These decision makers must recognize the critical role of education in preparing tomorrow's leaders to embrace sustainability as a core principle. So, with its focus on integrating environmental, social, and governance, as well as economic considerations into the learning experience, educational sustainability can provide a robust framework for fostering a generation of leaders who are prepared to tackle the challenges of the 21st century. So, decision makers must recognize this critical role that they all play. And so, this is where we say educational sustainability can forge tomorrow's leaders today. I have suggested three key areas. There are many areas in terms of educational sustainability. And I want to say that one of the first is when we talk about education, what is the curriculum that is actually being imbued for students away from primary school all the way up to tertiary education and even into their working and corporate life. We need to have a curriculum, a syllabus that can provide on a continuous and on a contemporary basis that will be able to transform traditional curriculum by incorporating sustainability themes across various subjects. For example, we say that in a science class, students might study not only all the traditional science subjects, but also study new and important topics, for example, on renewable energy, energy transition, new technologies. In a social class, they might be able to explore the impact of environmental impacts, other social and governance impacts on different communities. This holistic approach will ensure that sustainability is not just an isolated topic, but more of a fundamental aspect of all learning experiences. Everyone gets involved in various aspects, and this will help them to provide future problem-solving methodologies. So the key element is curriculum. I look at the second key area, innovative teaching methods. Teaching methods have evolved over the last few years, over the last few decades. And teaching methods and education programs that effectively promote and leverage on sustainable practices, such as real-world sustainable projects, experiential learning, where they engage on hands-on activity like community cleanups, urban gardening, including many other areas which the community is impacted in a very positive way. This will help the students to get fully engaged and involved. The third area that I would like to look at is community and stakeholder engagement. This goes beyond the classroom in terms of involving local communities, in terms of involving all stakeholders. This has to be a cumulative effect of all stakeholders' involvement. They also have to be regularly engaged in the educational efforts, communities, businesses, governments. So they may be able to partner with local schools, academies, universities, and vice versa, partner with local businesses on sustainability projects, collaborate with environmental organizations, like in terms of recycling, in terms of renewable energy, in terms of waste to energy. New methodologies are coming out there, pyrolysis, the circular economy, etc. And this is where the students, not only in their period of study, but there's a good transition from them into the working career in terms of community service activities. This will foster a sense of responsibility and empower them to take action in their respective communities and be meaningful citizens of the future. Well, I do hope that this may have given a brief picture. When we look at stakeholder and relations, it is a continuum. Stakeholder engagement is all the way from the young to the aged, and we need to have stakeholder engagement monitored. Are there adequate advocates? Are there enough consultants for the evolution of the process? There need to be a two-way dialogue as well as collaboration. It's a continuing process. And so we look at educational sustainability as not just one of the goals, but I believe it will represent a beacon of hope in an increasingly complex world that we all are living in and that we are giving forward to our children. By investing in the education of tomorrow, leaders will be able to create a more sustainable and equitable future. This is not just a trend, but it's a necessary evolution to ensure that future generations are well prepared to address them with more resilience. Thank you all very much. I do wish you a wonderful conference and award ceremony, and wish you all the best for your future and for the coming generations. Thank you so much.